In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my favorite training splits for men over 30 with a job, baby, family, and all kinds of responsibilities like that, so you can get the best results possible and build muscle within just 3 to 4 hours of hard training a week, and also have energy and time for other stuff after that. Check it out. By the way, if you're new here, don't forget to download Bodyweight first, our free guide, which is how I got my best results in the beginning, link below. Now, the main point behind the training split is not just about how many days a week you train, but most importantly, it's about giving every muscle enough stimulus, but also enough recovery time in order to grow. This is why, for example, a classic bro split, like the one you see right now on your screen, is one of the worst ways to train, since as research has proven repeatedly the last years, you need to train a muscle at least twice a week to get decent results. That said, if you choose the right exercises, if you focus on the right rep ranges, as explained in my previous video, if you train a muscle, again, frequently enough with the right amount of volume and the right intensity, the reality is that any split can work. Still, after doing this for over 10 years and coaching men over 30 for the last 3 or 4 years, now what I found is that training 3 to 4 times a week seems to be the recipe for success for most guys, especially if you want to make this a long-term practice. Now, a good example of a 3-day split would be Bodyweight First, our free guide, which you can click on the link below to get. Whether you're a complete beginner or somebody who hasn't trained in a while, maybe you've fallen off the wagon, whatever the case, this is a great place to get started from. The program consists solely of bodyweight exercises, which is not only a great way to build a solid foundation by mastering your own body in the beginning, which is how I got my best results as well, but it's also a great program to have in order to train no matter what. So whether you like to train from home, like me, so you can save more time, whether you need, you travel for work, you need an alternative for those situations, whether you are on vacation, or whether you also like training outdoors when you have some extra time, which is one of my favorite ways to train, since you also get, that maximum mood boost, energy boost. This program works, all you need is a set of gymnastic rings. You can throw it in a backpack and get your workout in anywhere, as long as you have something to hang your rings on. Okay, so if we go here on day 1, which you can see is, we've got all the biggest muscle building movement patterns, starting with a vertical pull, and we also have progressions here for you. So whether, again, you're a complete beginner, maybe you feel totally weak, maybe you're overweight, doesn't really matter. There are easier variations that can be suited to your level. These are also color-coded, so starting with the green ones that are the easier ones, and as you get closer to red, these are the harder ones. So let's say I want to do, I can't do pull-ups yet. I can click on leg assisted pull-ups, and by clicking on this link here, I will get this video here. Okay, so video demonstration, how to set up the rings, the exact height, and how to perform the exercise. All right, if you want something a bit harder, you can go to the next one, the yellow one. Again, you click on the link. What you get is, well, there we go. You get Coach John here demonstrating the exercise, leg DC pull-ups. Also great exercise. Even if you're more advanced, you can do regular pull-ups or even weighted pull-ups. Doing these at higher reps are also great. So yeah, as you can see, there are variations for anybody. In terms of sets and reps, I like 3 sets of sticking anywhere between 6 to 12 repetitions, right? So, once you master an exercise within that rep range, 12 reps become easy. You move on to the next one. In summary, the reason I like full body 3-day per week splits is, first of all, you get enough practice with every exercise, right? Here, you're practicing basically every exercise 3 times a week, which is important for a beginner. Since you need more friction with everything, with the exercises, with learning perfect technique, with learning how to push yourself. You need more sets, you need more volume in order to master this. And the 3-day split, 3 sets per exercise, per workout, hits that perfect balance, basically, that you need, not only to get better at the exercises, but also in order to build muscle later on. As you get more advanced, as you learn to push yourself harder, you can do some of these less frequently. You can change the programming, but in the beginning, this works like a charm, as long as you're focused on training hard, as long as you're trying to beat the previous week's performances, as long as your diet is on point, as long as you're not missing workouts, you're consistent, you can get great results from such a program for at least 5 months. Now, that being said, if after doing this consistently for 3 to 5 months, you start craving a little bit more variety, you want to maybe push it harder, you can then progress to a more advanced split, whether that's a more custom 3-day split, which I'll cover next, or a 4-day split, which I'll also cover in today's video. So if you want to keep training 3 times a week, but you also want to move on to something more advanced, what I recommend here is focusing on specializing more on specific areas that you'd like to see faster progress at. This also keeps your training more fun. For example, let's say you want to focus a bit more on your upper body. What you can do is either an upper-lower upper split, or what I prefer more, which is an upper, lower, and arms full body split, keeping the full body day more focused on the upper body. Now that kind of sounded too complicated, so let's see how it looks on screen. Day 1, as we said, is an upper day, which could look something like this. Day 2 is a lower and arms day, which could look something like this. Again, these are all things that can be more customized to you, but moving forward with day 3 here, as we said, we have a full body day, which is more upper body biased, so more exercises for the upper body and just a few for the lower body. Finally, 4-day splits are one of my favorite ways to step it up after being consistent with a more beginner 3-day split for a while. Specifically, there are 2 main splits we like to use here. We've got the classic upper lower split, or you can also do Coach John's favorite split here at Bodyweight Muscle, one of his favorites at least, the torso and limbs split, meaning on one day you focus on upper body, big muscle groups, pull, push stuff mainly, and the next day you've got limbs, meaning arms and legs. Here, the way you structure this is you start ideally with a torso day, the next day you do limbs, then you take a day off, and then you do again a variation of a torso day and a variation of a limb day. That being said, training 5 or even 6 days a week can also work, again, as long as you have the right split. Obviously, these workouts will be shorter, but as long as you take into account training volume, sets, reps, exercise selection, and all that. Joint overload as well is another important one for more high frequency programs, since if you're overloading a joint 2 days in a row, that can be often a recipe for injury. But again, as long as you take all these things into consideration, you can train as many times a week as you want and get great results. A lot of people, for example, who work from home that I coach, prefer a shorter but daily workout. In a way, this serves them as a productive break where, they can take a step back from work, re-energize their body and mind, and get back to work again, feeling fresher, feeling more creative. So that was all for today. If you want some help with one-on-one coaching, you can always learn more about that by clicking on the link below. Helping everyday men build a strong, lean, and capable body is what we do here at Bodyweight Muscle. And until next time, keep on training.